Did Jasmine say on Married at First Sight after party that she knows the woman who slept with Eris 2 weeks prior to him getting married?
As far as I heard, yeah,
How small is Nashville?
very small.
Well, if that's the case, Jasmine gotta be prepared for random women running up to her that they have had some entanglements with her husband.
Prior to her being married.
That,
Boy, I don't know if that's the best way to start off a marriage.
Lord have mercy.
Welcome to Cliff Alerts. Today we're going to be talking about Lifetime Network's reality-based series, Married at First Sight, season number 16, episode number 7.
But before we get into it, please like, share, and subscribe. Please click that notification button so you know when we upload new content. And we appreciate your kindness, thoughtfulness, and assistance growing this channel. Gina and Clint showing up for the last dinner the couples had on their honeymoon in Jamaica,
Before they return back to the real world, i.e., Nashville, Tennessee.
i.e., reality. So Gina tells the group that, hey, Clint has apologized and she accepted his apology. He stood up to say that his intention for what he said was not directed at any of the ladies there and they should not be offended by what he says. Sometimes he can be direct and therefore can make mistakes, but if anyone's was offended, that was not his intention.
Speaking of offended, there was one of the ladies who was offended by his remarks, who admitted in her confessional that she really wasn't buying it,
Well,
i.e., Nicole.
I think Nicole need to take several steps back. This was between Clint and Gina. These women sort of piled on. They're not victims. He wasn't talking about her. He wasn't even talking about Gina. He was just expressing what he is accustomed to dating.
And the irony in all of this is that later on, Nicole accepted on behalf of the ladies his apology. But the question then becomes for me, why does why does she feel like she needed an apology from him from the beginning?
She does not. She's being presumptuous. Said the question Chris asked Eris when they were at the dinner table whether he can fall in love with Jasmine. Now, for me, that is too personal of a question to ask in a group setting, but he asked it anyway. And Eris seems like he wants to try to cover Jasmine and not reveal his true feelings. He said yes, he can grow to love her, and that right now he is at 7% because they
7 out
went
of 10, yeah.
7 out of 10 simply because the question for the table was how would they rate their
Yeah,
spouse?
as posed by Gina.
Right.
Right. Max said that he thought that he and Dom were at a 7.5,
Yeah.
and Dom agreed.
Right.
hmm Chris said he thought his relationship with Nicole was 8.2, I believe.
I don't know how he got to that steep climb, but it is what it is.
Yeah, she agreed. I
And
guess they haven't had any major disagreements, and their bonding has gone as husband and wife has gone pretty smoothly so far, being strangers.
well, hey, she got a learning curve once they get back to Nashville. In fact, she was tested before they even left Jamaica.
Right, exactly. But we'll get into
We'll
that.
get into that.
Kirsten and Shaq were next up to answer that same question posed by Gina, and I think Kirsten said 7, I believe.
Mm,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and Shaq agreed.
right.
And then the question came all the way around full circle to Clinton
Clint
Gina.
and Gina. And I'm proud of Clint. Gina said five first, and then he followed with
You
5.5.
learned something. You got it right this time.
When they were dancing and celebrating the end of the honeymoon situation, It was observed that neither Dominique or McKinley could keep their hands off each other, and in fact, they exit the party pretty early.
Yeah, they slid on out, didn't
So it's weird to see the disconnect between them once they got home to Nashville.
they? There was an
There was
incident.
some full drama. Chris found out from the producers that um, all of their dogs, Chris has two and Nicole has one, could not be accommodated where they will be staying for the 8 weeks. And he went out on the balcony and started weeping. I thought someone died or one of the dogs died. I was like taken aback a little bit, and she came out asking him what was wrong, and he revealed that, they couldn't accommodate all the dogs in their new living space, and he didn't want to abandon his dogs. And I thought the whole situation was a little manipulative. I just can't understand why a grown ass man will be out on a balcony crying for a situation he could easily sit down with Nicole and they come up with an answer.
Didn't understand either how
Right.
another
Did
grown ass man would respond that way over something that was solvable,
solvable.
doable, and not nearly as critically important to cause him to respond the way that he did.
Now later on, Chris tells Nicole he doesn't like drama, but
He
he
damn sure created it
he
right then and there, didn't he?
amen.
On his own.
Tell the truth.
Oh,
But I just got a whiff of something funky.
stench, huh?
Yeah, and you could always smell the
The aroma
stench of the aroma,
of
the
BS,
pungent
of
aroma.
BS, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
McKinley and Dominique, the following day, they're all getting ready to go home. However, they're having breakfast, and Dominique's still trying to do a DIY on her mat. And I don't know if she has a skill set to do the plumbing, but she's certainly trying to DIY him and make him into the way she feels comfortable with.
Instead of dealing with who he
Who
is
he is.
and what he's bringing to the
And
table.
for a lady who said that she's an old soul, I haven't seen the presence of that yet. So, what did Mackenzie tell her? He checked her a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah, she basically was kind of put off by McKinley's response with how he's tried to accommodate all of
Yes,
what she's wanted it to do, and even though he's not necessarily about that and into, he doesn't necessarily find entertaining, or fun some of the things that they've done, or many of the things that they've done. He still has gone along and tried to make the best of
right.
it.
And that she should give him the benefit of the doubt.
Right, right, and it's not, and from his end, he was saying that, sometimes it seems like it's either
Your
her
way.
way or the highway.
Well, I know what that's about. Why are you looking at me like that?
I was just agreeing with what we said prior to, not you, not what you're coming
Are
with.
you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned from Clint too.
Wow. Dom is 25 years old
Mac is 34,
and Mac is 34. And that age difference is going to rear its ugly head.
and I've been saying that from the beginning, haven't I?
Yeah, you have.
Mhm.
So, I see problems ahead because Dom did not like him telling her off basically and checking her. She's an only child, and sometimes they're not accustomed to people regulating how they move. Harris basically told Jasmine that he he has put her in the friend zone. Let's just cut to the
And
chase.
wife is like, no, 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 I'm not trying to have all that. I am your wife. I'm not your friend. I'm your wife.
But wait a second, isn't it a good thing to be someone's friend first?
Yeah, but
I mean,
I think what happened was, because of the circumstances under which they were married, i.e., as part of the show, they haven't had a chance to do that. So they've been doing things in reverse,
yeah.
and I think that at some point in time, she's going to come to the realization that if you're married and in a healthy relationship, your spouse is
Your friend.
your friend and probably your best friend.
Right. So
I'm just saying.
I think that Jasmine has a high level of expectation, and Iris is trying to manage that for her by telling her she's in the friend zone. She got to flip that on its head and recognize that because this is new for both of them, starting off,
Hmm.
it's good to be a good friend.
Yeah, Jasmine was saying that also too that she's got to give this man space to be who he is, and in an effort for them to grow as a unit.
Right.
And I don't know if that's going to be the easiest task for her.
Well, when they got back to Nashville, he took her to his home.
Right.
Seemed uncomfortable when he was walking her through his house. In fact, he said there was one room that no woman has ever entered. I'm not sure he should have said that. That was too much information, but he said it anyway. He looked like a neat brother.
Yes.
Nothing was out of place.
Yes.
He had his how women we're fixated on our shoes and handbags and where we keep them
Yep.
and how we keep them.
Yep.
He did the same thing for his
With his
sneaks.
Jordans,
Yes,
and
yes,
they were boxed up
yeah,
neatly,
yes,
stacked up.
yes, yes.
I was feeling the brother,
Yeah, yeah,
because believe it or not, tennis shoe collections are important to brothers.
absolutely.
If the footwear is trash, you're gonna hear about it
We
from the
ladies,
ladies.
we ladies have a budget
Uh,
on our shoes and our handbags. We're not sleeping on that at all.
yeah,
Right.
which can best be described as unlimited in terms of spending. Stop me when I'm lying. I ain't mad. I'm just saying that's what y'all do.
Oh,
Hmm?
okay.
Am I wrong? No, no. Let me answer that for you. I know how y'all do. Y'all in the shoes
Anywho, I just think that Eris looked uncomfortable
in his house,
in
in his
his
own house.
house as he showed her around, and she has to find some way to help him to relax.
Maybe she was thinking, maybe he was thinking rather, wondering how his wife would view, his life prior to their marriage. And
Well, it don't matter what he did before, even 2 weeks ago when he slept with this girl that Jasmine now knows. Doesn't matter. What happens is what happens now is what's important.
agreed.
What is behind is behind. What is in front,
Can't go back and change it. Right.
you
Agree.
just move forward.
Agree.
But one thing Eris did reveal is that his father was murdered when he was 11 years old and he lost his uncle. Sad to see the hurt and the loss he feels. Even now, he said he wishes that his father could come home.
Yeah, it seems like he has been unable to work his way through that hurt, that pain associated with the unexpected, death of his father vis-a-vis murder. And it's something that, I would imagine that you never get over,
No,
but you work your way
I
through.
doubt you could ever get over
Right, and
that.
it just seems like he has not been successful at doing that so far, and now, it's incumbent upon his wife Jasmine to understand that part of him, from my vantage point, and to do what she can in an effort to support him
Mhm.
and to assist him in whatever ways that are healthy and wholesome to their relationship, uh, for him to get through that.
It's only, let's say, recently, maybe 5, 10 years, that we're talking about trauma. Sometimes it's you don't have that help to go to talk about it and reveal or go of the pain that you're feeling. So young boys, 11 years old, grew up to be men, and they still carry around that hurt, and that can change their lives if they don't um, get help for them.
Yeah, and you never know how the grief process will impact somebody.
Yes.
It definitely impacts people differently
Yeah.
depending on who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So
McKinley staying with friends in Nashville. And of course, she is very cynical and critical of his living arrangements. Now, meanwhile, where he was living was not a secret, but now she has a problem. So, of course, when they go to the basement, there's nothing really of his. He has some photographs on the wall of his loved ones, but that's basically it. It's a temporary space. But yet she was very negative. I'm sure he felt it one way or the other. And then she said, "This is not the kind of man she typically dates." And that he was transitioning, and it seemed like she wasn't here for it. And she got a note that she was told that he recently moved to Nashville. The show contacted him and said he was chosen, so he had to pivot quickly. And he did say that he was trying to hold out so that he and his wife can choose a space together. And that's reasonable.
Yeah, it seems like she was, for lack of a better expression, victimized by her own unrealistic expectations uh, pertaining to her new husband.
Yes.
And she didn't know how to deal with that. So it just came out the wrong way and kind of revealed something about her that I believe kind of showed her immature side.
Yes.
She's got to be fair and understanding of the circumstances regarding her new husband.
Right.
She didn't have control over that, and to a great degree, neither did he. So, anything that he did to be able to take advantage of the opportunity has to be taken into consideration.
Right. So she has lived a sheltered life and may not have been exposed to a whole lot of different kind of people and different circumstances. So she's just going from what she knows.
And what she wants and to see in her, I guess, future spouse or current spouse, as it may be the case with Mac. And it's like she has this ideal in her head that doesn't match up with anybody else's reality.
Right. Clint and Gina got to their new living space. Clint is looking forward to having a Mexican fiesta at the
Yeah, as a
house
housewarming
to
kind of
bring it
deal.
in,
Right,
invite her friends over
right,
and kick
right,
back.
right.
And Gina is just casually saying something, but you could see her energy is low. She wants to wrap this up. It seems so bland.
I don't understand something. It seemed like they were in a good place after Clint addressed the group in Jamaica regarding, that situation about his preferences, dating preferences of the past, and how it was kind of perceived by the ladies, not only the ladies, but also first and foremost his wife. So I thought it seemed like they were beyond that. All was forgiven, and they were moving forward.
Now
But it seems
Gina,
like she's kind of like, I guess, for lack of a better expression, kind of regressed back to that point. I guess.
I wish she could open herself up. She said that she would, but
Hmm.
I don't think she is.
Do you think that was just for
I,
the
I,
just for the cameras?
I think she needs to open herself up to a new possibility.
Okay.
I think because of the argument, she shut down basically,
Okay.
and she needs to be revived or be refreshed.
Well, do you think that she can do that on her own, or with the, for lack of a better expression, the assistance of her husband, or do you think that they need um, Pastor Cal, Dr.
With
Pepper?
this is the problem with independent women. It takes us no time to just say I'm done, and move on.
Right, but it's not
You know what
about
I mean? But
once you.
it's not about that. And I think she needs to just get her head in the game and try to work this out.
So, do you think that she is leaning on that independent uh, aspect of her personality when she should remember that one, it's not about just her; it's about not only her but also her husband. So she should try to transform that independence into an
Right.
interdependence
But that
aspect of their relationship.
that takes
So that
time. She just has have to be willing to
Okay.
do it,
Okay.
and she seems to be struggling at the moment.
So you think she needs help? Help.
I think she needs help
Okay.
because if she gets locked in, it's a wrap. Kristen and Shaq, once they got to their new space, Shaq mentioned that it's good to have someone at the house when he gets there.
Yeah, because that was one of the things that he referenced, I guess, prior to being married, that was kind of really important for him
Yes,
to experience as a
yes,
part of this marriage process. Coming home, after the ceremonies and everything else is kind of settled down, and they're getting into a pattern of normal life.
right.
That it was really important for him.
Right. And companionship is everything. So I can understand that. And for the first time, I see Tristan actually listening and agreeing with him. I don't know how far it'll go, but for the here and now, at least, at the very least, she was listening. She was very attentive to what he was saying.
It seems like to me, Kirsten is starting to understand that scroll list of prerequisites that her husband needed to have, in order for her to be able to check off all the boxes and feel comfortable with her new spouse is diminishing in terms of importance to her.
Right. Now we gotta say when Jasmine and Eris got to their new space, he was particular.
Kind of saw a different side of Eris
Yes, you did.
immediately.
Yes.
Okay, and that was probably I don't want to say a shock, but maybe surprising to his wife Jasmine, in that she hasn't had that much of an opportunity to see him be that demonstrative about certain things that he's interested in. And here's the thing, other than, or should I say, other than maybe what sexual positions and all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff, but Aris is kind of like a laid back guy.
Yeah.
Okay, but he showed definitely another side of himself when they walked into that house, and he started envisioning them living together. She's like, "Well, this is my space. This is my space. And this is your space." And blah blah
Yeah.
blah.
But if you live alone for a while,
Hmm.
you get particular about how you want your space. I know, if family comes through and they tend not to want to respect your place, um, that is would never be my issue because I know how to do a Martin Lawrence get to stepping. You want your place to be decent and in order. Your place supposed to be a where you can cut loose, where you can hang back, and you don't want people just bringing in germs or walking
Negative
on stuff.
energy or any of that.
That's what I'm talking about.
I
You
get
don't
it.
want to have to sage people before they enter your house, which is a good idea, but I
Smoke out
mean,
all that foolishness, huh? Okay. It's a transitional period, and that they need to understand that they can't be so rigid with their own expectations of their spouses, because it's not just them anymore.
well, on that, we will say thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Please click that notification. Please click that like button, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, the three of us, you, me, and the furball, right?
God bless. Love the person you are right now, and have a great, safe, and lovely week.
No doubt.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye bye.